Hello, friends, and how are you? Welcome to episode number 33 of the Real Estate Sales Show. I am your host, as always, Danny Morel. First question for you. How's your market doing? I don't know if you're feeling it, but there's definitely that back-to-school shift that is going on right now. At our company, we had a record month last month. It seems as though, I think we sold 385 houses, something along those lines. And then this month, it kind of is starting to slow down a little bit, right? So we've been rallying the troops, firing them up, getting them focused. But you've got to understand that whatever you were doing in the second quarter and the first part of the third quarter is now going to have to change. And you've got to understand why, because people, specifically our customers and clients' focus is a little bit off right now. They're getting kids back to school. They're getting just past Labor Day. They probably had a great weekend. And the reality is October is coming, and that means Halloween. You're going to have to plan for that. November is coming, and that means Thanksgiving. You're going to have to plan for that. And then December is coming, and that means December, Christmas shopping, and you're going to have to plan for that. So thought I'd just give you a little bit of a tip to be aware of the fact that right now, more than ever, sales skills, time management, the basics is more important than ever before. And get those price reductions because you're going to need them now versus later. Before I start on today's interview, we have a powerful guest. I want to say thank you to all of you that are going on to our iTunes account and leaving a rating. We are now up to 147 total ratings, of which 145 are 5 stars. So thank you, my friends. That means a lot to me, and it really helps us to attract powerful guests like today's guests. But I want to read off a couple of them to you really, really quickly. Thank you to MGod525, who says, great content, best podcast. Love it. Thank you so much. Make sure to share it with your family and friends. Scott Clymer says, great show, Danny. I don't know how anyone could not find value in you or your show. Thank you for wanting to help those around you. We will make you proud. Scott, I appreciate that. Listen, here's what I always like to say. Make you and your family proud, and that'll make everybody happy. So go do the best you can for you and your family. Scott Clymer also says, as a new agent to the industry, I have found it hard to get my business off the ground with the limited help from my brokerage. That's called normal, just so you know, Scott. After searching for direction, for leadership tirelessly on the internet, I finally found Danny's podcast. It didn't take too much time to realize that his business model is the only way I will be able to live the life that I want. Thank you, Danny, for your desire to contribute to the life of others. And when you expand to Portland, I want to be the first one in your firm. Keep up the good fight. You're exactly what the industry needs. Thank you, Scott. I really appreciate that. And last but not least, this is from Tiffany Dowling. And Tiffany writes, absolutely love Danny Morel. If you strive to be, man, this is kind of weird. That's pretty awesome. If you strive to be extremely successful, you know it's next to impossible to achieve that without people and without the show. Keep on inspiring. I listen to you every morning and often when I can't sleep. I'm in the process of trying to keep up with doubling my transactions year after year. This gets more challenging when you reach higher numbers. My career has taken off quickly, and your advice and insight is spot on and what I need to hear. Tiffany, listen, you're right. And I'll tell you right now, if it's taken off this way, you'll get to 100 transactions a year, but you'll do that by being able to forecast 100 transactions and understanding what the roadblocks are going to be happening or coming in the months and years to come. As a matter of fact, that might be a show that I might do pretty soon. But today's show is special, guys. And it's special for 2 reasons. Number 1, I get to introduce you to an important human being in my life. But number 2, I get to introduce you to someone that you really need to know. And you need to know this individual because I'll put it to you this way. I could put 10,000 real estate professionals in a room. And I'm not lying when I say what I'm about to say. Maybe 5 of them have the discipline that this human being / freak of nature has. And he's specifically disciplined in a lot of areas that I want him to share with all of you, Because whether you realize it or not, I've said this before and I'll say it again, we are not accountants, we're not lawyers, we're not doctors, we're real estate salespeople. And the key word there is salespeople. And as salespeople, we need to keep discipline, but more than anything, we have to have the right mindset at all times. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet my little brother, my baby brother, who's making waves in the real estate industry, Mr. Anthony Morel. Anthony, say hello, please.
Hello, everyone.
So, Anthony, this is your second time on the show.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of being the very first one to be interviewed,
Yep.
and I just want to say that all the people that have been on have been absolutely amazing, and it's been really exciting and really cool to see the show grow. So yeah, it's awesome.
So let's talk about that for a second, because I know you're someone that is, you have the discipline of learning, which is another discipline.
Yeah.
But what's been your favorite show so far?
My favorite show so far has been Greg Harrelson's show.
It has.
And yeah, I have a lot of respect for Greg and a lot of respect for everybody that has been on the show. Apple Correales was fantastic. Tyleon Guerrero's was great. Joe DeRaffaelli's, Alex. I mean, they're all wonderful. I think one of the things that really stuck with me the most was when Greg Harrelson said, when something about along the lines of when the tide is down, that's when you don't want to get caught with your pants down or something along those lines. And that really impacted me, and it really hit me because it's so true. It's when things are great and the market is easy and everything is flying. Naturally we tend to get away from some of the basics. And so I thought that was just a great show, again, with all of them, but that line really stuck with me, and Greg's just overall mindset was phenomenal.
So. He is an absolute animal, and he's a titan. Like I called him on the show within the industry.
Yeah.
I have the good fortune of calling Greg one of my mastermind partners, and where we share ideas back and forth. But you're absolutely right. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
So Anthony, let's talk real fast and let's give everybody an idea of what you do, because you have taken a different approach. And I don't know if that was by design, but you've definitely taken a different approach to your real estate career and future. Talk to them about how you got started in the business as a little refresher, and then tell them what are you doing and what are you responsible for now?
Yeah, so I got started in the business in Las Vegas. I've been in the business now for about 4 years. Got started as a salesperson, just strictly selling, and which I do still sell today. I've taken a little bit of a different approach now with Intero, the Intero Real Estate Services in Southern California, the brokerage, and basically being a partner in that and growing that and developing that, and also while I'm producing and learning and growing, helping agents in our company also learn, grow, and just coming from a place of contribution. It's really what it's been. So yeah,
I love it. Fantastic. And so as a result of all of that, what are you responsible for on a day-to-day basis? Like what does that look like for you?
Yeah. So my responsibility is our office in Rancho Cucamonga. I also have responsibilities in Corona and also in Mission Viejo to help agents and the production of those offices and the growth of those offices as well.
Right.
And then another responsibility of mine is also to produce and sell real estate. I still love selling real estate, and I want to do it at a very high level. And so, yeah.
Okay. And so, I know one of the words you mentioned when you spoke about your appreciation for Greg Harrelson's show was the basics.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be very, very good. As a matter of fact, I had one of you message me talking about, hey, I'd love to, the show is great in that you're introducing us to so many people who have made it type of deal, but I'd love to meet somebody that's newer that kind of figured it out. Well, Anthony's one of those guys that is newer that I think has figured it out. Because, Anthony, how long have you been in the business so far?
This is my 4th year.
Okay, 4th year. Fantastic. And I'd like to pick your brain a little bit on those basics.
Okay.
And I'd like to pick your brain on the importance of those basics. and I'm going to tailor our conversation towards one of your strengths, which is your insatiable ability to manage your time, specifically when we talk about the morning routine.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about when you talk about the area of basics, let's talk about that morning routine.
Okay.
First of all, what is the definition of a morning routine to you?
It's the most untouchable. It's the most sacred thing that you can have in your business, I think. I think it's the momentum builder. I think it's the start of everything. I truly believe that without a strong morning routine, you really almost give up the right to say that you want to produce at a very high level.
The problem with that?
Yeah.
There were just three images, because in my brain, I'm always thinking about the quotes that we're going to use to promote the show.
Right.
You just said three powerful things that I think is going to go kind of like right over people's heads. Yeah. So can you say all that again? Because people, I really need you to listen to what he's about to say.
Well, I think when you look at morning routine, it breaks down to your scheduling, like you said. I feel that with if you really want to produce at a high level, we have to understand that our schedules are based and tailored around what type of production we want to have. Mm-hmm. So, an individual that wants to perform at a high octane level wants to do 100 transactions a year, 150, 200 transactions a year. Right. They're going to perform, or they're going to have a much different schedule than somebody that wants to, maybe sell real estate part-time or sell, 5, 10, 15 houses a year. Right. And so, what I said was that if you want to produce at a high level, you almost give up the right not to have a strong morning routine.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if you look at the activities that need to take place, if you look at your skill set, for one, if you look at the amount of people that you need to talk to, mm-hmm. if you look at your physical health and your physical well-being, the energy that it's going to take to go out and produce at a high level, there are certain triggers and there are certain things in your day that they're just non-negotiable. They're just non-negotiables.
Okay, so Anthony, help me to understand this. Because, one of the things that we've been teaching all of the agents, obviously, and from my time with Tony Robbins recently, is that business is 80% psychology and 20% strategy. Yeah. It's literally one of my new favorite sayings, because for me personally, that clarified a lot. It really did. Talk to me about the psychology of not having a morning routine. And I know that may be tough for you, but what do you think could be going on in someone's head that has decided to not have a strong morning routine?
Well, let me think about that. Probably somebody who doesn't have very high goals.
Okay, that's the start.
It's probably somebody who, maybe has some bad habits that they're not willing to change. It's maybe somebody who, I maybe just doesn't want to win, I think is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And doesn't want to win at a high level.
Right.
These are just the thought processes that are coming
absolutely
to my mind. Yeah, the thoughts, yeah.
Because whether people realize it or not, that's a psychology.
Yeah.
It's a psychology problem, because the body follows what the mind thinks. Would you agree?
That makes perfect sense.
And so, for you have trained yourself to not know any other way other than to have a winning psychology. And being that you want to win at such a high level,
yes,
you have to have a strong morning routine.
Absolutely. And, here's the thing. Excuses really become obsolete. They don't exist, and that's one of the things that I'll share. I'm a part of right now. I probably have 100 accountability partners just through what I do through social media, right. People that I've designated, that I help, not designated, but help in the organization, hold accountable, right. And then also my own accountability group myself. And I will share with you that the amount of excuses that I see that come up it's insane. It's crazy. So I'm a human being. I've got, I've got a family. I have time restriction. I have all this stuff. All
the same problems.
The same problems. I just find that the more you can eliminate and get rid of these excuses, the better off you'll be.
Okay, so tell me this, Anthony, because here's the problem that some people will have.
Sure.
And this is for veterans. This is for new people. We see this all the time. Obviously, what you and I are doing on a day-to-day basis, both within our company and, now in the country and in the world, basically, is we're just trying to show people a set of principles that if you choose to follow them, you will have a higher probability of success than if you don't follow them. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's play a little game here.
Okay.
Real estate agent A, real estate agent B. Whether you like it or not, and by the way, I know the haters listen to this show too. I know you'll never admit it, but I know you're out there, and I know you call what we do rah-rah, and whatever. That's fine. But let's just do a little common sense. Agent A, Agent B. Agent A has a clearly defined goal and vision, and they not only want to achieve that goal or vision, it's a must that they attain that vision. Agent B doesn't really know what they want. They know they want to make a little money, and they know that this is a good way to do it. Who will most likely have the best opportunity to win, Anthony? Agent A or Agent B?
Just strictly off of clarity, Agent A.
Okay, so how clear are you, for example, on your goals? Because I've been in your car. Tell them what you have on your dashboard.
Well, I have them everywhere. I have them next to my bed. I have them in my car. I have them right here. So I basically have, these little note cards that I just picked it up off my desk right now. But here's a note card. It just says, commitment by December 31st, 2016, 18 listings, 40 hires. I want to get my golf game under 95, which seems to be my biggest challenge right now. So that one is tough.
Yeah.
And to save $100,000. And to have and then I write down here gratitude and expectancy underneath it, because I'm just grateful for everything that I have in my life. At the same time, I expect this to happen.
Absolutely, I love it. So,
and
guys,
I carry these note cards with me; they're everywhere.
So, guys, and I'm showing you this on the video. If you're not, if you're listening at the gym or whatever, these are 3 little note cards that this is. This is a psychology. Like, for example, Anthony just taught me something that I used to do back when I was his age. Yeah. I had them everywhere. As a matter of fact, you probably learned it from me. Yeah. I don't even know. But what starts happening, guys, is that in your brain and in your mind, you forget the basics that got you to where you are. So immediately, people, listen, this is called execution. You learn a great point. You reach in your desk. You go to the store. You buy 3 note cards. You stick them down with a pen so that as soon as you're listening, you can just start writing down some of your goals. As a matter of fact, Anthony, let's help them with this.
Yeah.
Let's help them with this. So what do you put at the very top? You put a time frame or what?
At the very top, I would write commitment.
Okay, let's write this down, everybody. Everybody grab a pen. I'm going to do it with you guys. Commitment. Fantastic. What's next?
Next, I would write down a target date. So you've got, a goal date as to when you want to accomplish this goal.
All right. I'm going to go by the end of the year. This will be
December 31st, 2016.
Okay. December 31st, 2016. Perfect. I want everybody doing this. Stop what you're doing. Stop running. Just do this. This is power. We're going to have 15,000 people doing this right now. By the way, Anthony, that's how many people are downloading the show. So that's pretty fantastic. Okay. Now what? What do you do next?
So set a goal. So if you're whatever your goal may be, my first goal is I want to take 18 listings. Now I started this, I believe about a month ago. So whatever your goal is from now to the end of the month, we have virtually 3.5 months left. If if you want to take 2 listings a month, maybe take 6 listings. If you want to take 4, 5, 10, it really, that's the beautiful part about it is it really doesn't matter where you're at. It's just and I think people get stuck on that. They get focused on what everybody else is doing as opposed to just focusing on what it is that they need to do and what it is that they need to execute. So it could say 3 listings on there. It really doesn't matter.
Okay. So, and then the second natural goal should be sales.
Yeah, sales. That's another great one.
Okay, so team or listeners, write down your sales goal. How many will you open from now till December 31st? The third natural one could be closings.
Closings. That's a very easy way to do it. I want to close X amount of transactions.
And it's typically, guys, 80% of the number that you wrote down for sales is the number that you'll put there.
Mm-hmm.
The next one could be income.
Income, it could be savings, it could be a trip, it could be a vacation, it could be something you want to purchase for yourself, it can be something you want to purchase for somebody else. I love golf, so it could be a golf thing, it can be a weight challenge, it can be, there's so many different things that you can go with. It's, this doesn't just work for real estate, this works
for life.
Yeah.
How much you want to contribute, what you want to give back, if you want to tithe, the whole thing.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so guys, I hope you take us up on that, and I hope you write those down. And I say get 3 cards because you should probably have one by your house, or your bed. You should probably have one at the office, and you should probably have one at the car somewhere. So there's a good idea. Okay, let's go back to Agent A and Agent B, Anthony.
Yeah.
All right, so naturally speaking, Agent A, because of their mindset and their clarity, will be a little bit different psychology-wise than Agent B, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's take it to the next level. As a result of that psychology, Agent A will most likely have a stronger desire to wake up, to beat the competition at the time that they arrive to the office, to role play, to do the things that Agent B most likely will not want to do. Is that correct? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
And there forms your time, your morning routine. So, Anthony, let's speak for a second about a morning routine. What are the key components of the morning routine?
Great question. I think the first key component is have a predetermined wake-up time.
Okay.
And that can be, that's really dependent upon your goals and what it is that you want to accomplish.
Right.
And so that wake-up time can be 7 o'clock. That wake-up time could be 7:30. That wake-up time could be 4 o'clock. That wake-up time could be 5 o'clock. Just really dependent upon what you want to accomplish in your life.
Okay. So, for example, I know I'm up at 4 and I'm working out by 4:30. Mm-hmm. You are now up at 3:30 and you're working out at 4 now, right?
I'm now up at 3:25 and I'm working out at 4, yes.
Okay, and what happened there? What caused that shift? Which, by the way, I will not be joining you in that shift.
Fine. But that's fine. That's fine.
But talk to them. Talk to them. What caused you to do that?
Well, it's really just it's a learning process. It's really a learning curve. And so there are things that are important to me that I just felt like I wasn't getting done as much, or I wasn't accomplishing. So one of the things that I absolutely love doing in the morning is I want to write in my income journal, my income earning statement, what I'm grateful for, the things that have made me happy in the last 24 hours, and then the income earning statement of what I will earn in the next 12 months. Another thing I know I was definitely slipping on was my visualization. And that was, I think, the big trigger to that. I noticed that I was getting into the office at around 7:10-ish. Mm-hmm. And through having to set things up at the office, get prepared for the role play, prepare for that what I'm going to deliver, or just overall prepare the office, and really my visualization. So here's another thing, I spend anywhere from 6 to 10 minutes every morning, and I visualize now. So I have there's a center point audio that I listen to, and I just visualize my future. I think it's Napoleon Hill that says that if you can see it come true if you can see it in your mind, then it's already come true.
Yes.
And so they're just the really little things that I think people, just because life is life, they just negate and they just kind of push it to the side.
But you can't. But let's talk about that. But and again, I'm gonna say this. Just off the 2 examples so far, you guys can see. We don't even have to tell you. You guys can see the answer to the next question. Agent A goes up on a listing appointment against Agent B. Who wins?
Agent A.
Agent A goes up and opens a business against Agent B. Who wins?
Agent A.
Agent A. You guys get what we're saying here? It's whether you want to deal with this or not, the reality is that everything is based off of, and the foundation of everything is the psychology. Because if you want to win, you're going to go want to be around winners. And I mean literally to the point that if you're looking at the people that you're around right now in your life, if you are not satisfied with that, and if you realize you want to win at a higher level, you're going to go make a shift. You're going to go make a change. If you're hearing this example right now, something in your heart is saying, oh my God, I got to step up my game. You have to go step up your game. Because if not, it's almost as if though you're acknowledging your Agent B and you're acknowledging defeat.
Well, I on that point, Danny, Agent A takes full responsibility.
Oh.
Agent A takes full responsibility for everything. So I hear a lot of people say, I want to increase. This is my year. You'll just what? Watch me.
Right.
Watch me.
Right.
You don't even. And so what happens is, but nothing changes after they go to these. You go to a crazy event. You go to a Mike Ferry summit, whatever it may be. Any event that you go to. But nothing really changes because they don't take responsibility for the habits.
Yeah.
You really have to change those
that cause the result.
That really cause the result. Yeah.
The psychology impacts the habits impact the results.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
So just taking responsibility.
Okay. And so let's keep going. Morning routine. So predetermined wake up time.
Yeah. So I'm a big believer, predetermined wake up time, and right when you wake up, I'll give this thing that I do, big believer in giving the first of what I have to God, the first of everything, meaning, my thoughts, my income, when I get paid, all of that. So I'm reading a book, and I actually just finished it. It's called The Blessed Life, and it talks about that. To have the blessed life, really giving the first to God. So,
right.
The very first thing I do is, as I'm changing, I'm with God, and I'm just thanking Him for everything, thanking Him for the breath that I have, and just all of the abundance that He's given me in my life. So that's another key point. After that, health. Health is huge.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're walking. I tell agents all the time, take a 30-minute walk around your house. Literally, that's it. Just do something. Because what happens is, again, if you want to talk Agent A and Agent B, well, Agent A, they get things that they're dealing with in their mind. We're in a very tough business. There's no mistaking that. It's a high stress business, and we have to make very important decisions every day that affect the lives of families. So.
And Anthony, I'm going to cut you off for a second here. And quite frankly, we are responsible for
absolutely
the lives of others.
Yeah.
We really are. Their future, the decisions that they make, it's the home that they buy, the loan that they get involved in. How can you expect to succeed at a business where you're essentially leading others and responsible for others, and you can't lead or be responsible for yourself?
Yeah. So I'll give you a great example. What it comes down to with the morning routine also is preparation. Okay. So in preparation, think about this. When you were in high school and you went to take a test, right? You go to take that test, but you didn't study at all. You didn't even try to look over the material, and you just showed up and bam, the test was in front of you. How did you feel?
Not good.
You felt terrible.
Yes.
You felt absolutely terrible. You were scared. You were fearful. And, real estate, every day is a test.
Absolutely is.
Every single day is a test.
Life is a freaking test.
Life is a test. And so if you're showing up, just think about that. You're showing up to your office. You're unprepared. You don't know. You just build no momentum into your day. And so all of the things that all of my deals, everything that I'm dealing with, all of that, I'm getting those worked out in the gym.
Right.
And when I'm doing that, they're no longer as big of an issue as I thought they were. So it allows me to not get to, so when I get to the office, which we'll talk about, I'm not getting to my office, going straight to my email, freaking out.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I gotta save this deal all day, which throws off all of my prospecting, all of my skill set work, my visualization, all of that gets thrown out. So that's why I recommend wake up, go for a small walk, go for a jog, whatever it is, work out. You work out in your garage, whatever you have to do to start working all of that stuff out.
Yeah.
So that when you get to the office, you can stay in your momentum and in your flow and really lower the pressure.
Right.
Let's kind of really think things through a little bit.
Fantastic. And so let's talk about that. You get to the office and what happens?
So I get to the office. The first thing I do is I get right into my journal. So my income earning statement is right here actually, and basically every morning I write in it. So you can see here, this was yesterday's date here. So I just sit here and I write.
Right.
I write 10 things that I'm grateful for. I write 3 things that made me happy in the last 24 hours, and then I write my income earning.
Got it.
I earn, a certain amount of money or more every year.
And so for those of you guys that don't know, everyone in our company gets one of these journals to write in when they join the company, because we just believe that, I'll tell you in a snippet, we all have a portion of our brain called the reticular activating sensor. And it doesn't matter what you want to accomplish or how much you want to earn. If your subconscious mind doesn't believe that you can earn it, you'll literally shut yourself off. And so part of what we try to work on is reprogramming that mind. And that's why that activity is so important, basically. So, yeah. Okay, you write in that journal. What else?
As soon as I'm done writing in that journal, I get right into my visualization, which is what I talked about. Yep. Usually I have a little timer here, which really helps me out with everything, but it's set to 6 minutes right now. Right. So, and I just put that on for 6 minutes, and I start to visualize. And basically what I do just there is I have pictures here, and I just jump into one of the pictures. So this is a cool one right here of me sitting courtside at Staples Center, right? And it's got my son right next to it.
Yeah.
And so, and I've got, I like Chuck Taylor. So I'm wearing Chucks and blue jeans, and I'm just hanging there. It also has Kobe Bryant in there because, I visualize, Kobe's retired, but I want to have courtside seats, and he's going to be at Staples Center, and I want him to know who I am, and I want to have a relationship with Kobe, and I want to be able to tell him, hey, Kobe, if you want to grab a bite at halftime, let's do it. And I want him to respond to me. And so I have that conversation and that dialogue, and I'm already eating lunch with Kobe. So it's like, it's,
I love it.
I can tell you this, there's all of the problems, we all have problems. Look around the room, everybody has problems.
Right.
All of that stuff just seems a lot lighter when you know where you're going.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got a deal that's about to blow up. You got a deal that's falling out of escrow. A client calls you and tells you, I don't want to work with you anymore. I mean, for most agents, it's like,
it's death.
It's over. It's
Anthony,
done,
I got to tell you, I'm so glad that you brought that up. Because I never realized it up until now. And I mean, people always ask, how do you handle it? To this day, I have friends that ask me, how do you handle close to 400 agents and the podcast and I don't really have any problems. And the reason why I don't have any problems, I think you just helped me figure it out, is I know where I'm going.
You're already there.
Yeah, I'm already there. And so to me, this is like kiddie land. We're just scratching the surface right now, you know? It's so powerful that you say that. So tell me something, Anthony. Now let's talk about a problem that we have in the industry.
Yeah.
We're a part of an industry where obviously, if you're following any of us on social media, you can obviously see that we're rattling some cages here in Southern California and soon all across the country. And you'll hear comments and you'll see statements like people who are obviously agent Bs, but God bless them, they don't even realize they are. They have in their brains, they have no idea that they are. But they'll say things like, the Kool-Aid or the rah-rah or whatever the case may be. Anthony, I mean, it's pretty obvious because we're outperforming all of those mindsets and all of those psychologies.
Sure.
I guess my question is, what would you say to somebody that, wants to make a change and just realized for the first time, oh my God, I'm Agent B? Mm-hmm. Like, what would be some of the first steps that you would take to get from the dark side into the light side? To join the force?
I think the very first thing is and it's gonna, if it's gonna maybe sound contradictory, but I think the very first thing to do is to remove the ego.
Yeah.
Because you would think it's so funny because if you're an agent B or whatever, the way you're describing it, you're probably disliking the things that the agent A is doing. And the reason because of that is because of your ego, when and the reality is the agent A is more coachable.
That's all. Yeah.
And so for me, I hear my mentors and people that I admire tell me, hey, here's what you need to do. And so for me, my ego is gone. It's out of the picture. And what I do is, okay, I'm going to do that. But not only am I going to do that, I'm going to do it better than anybody else in this world.
Right.
I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to miss. I'm not going to miss. I'm not going to let my ego tell me that it's okay to miss. I'm just not going to do it. And so I would say first things first is really remove your ego. That's what I would say. And saying, you know, I don't have to wake up at a predetermined time. I don't have to get to the office. And I'm not even telling anybody to wake up as early as I do, because
Right.
I know I'm a little, I got some stuff going on myself, you know, but it's like, man, you can wake up
do something.
But do something. You can wake up at 6:30. You can wake up at 7. Even if you're waking, have some type of a routine that gives you momentum into your day.
You know, I'm learning from this new business leader. If you guys don't know who he is, look him up. His name is Keith Cunningham. But Keith says if you'll blow off $10, eventually you'll blow off 10 million. And he's essentially what he's trying to say is he's talking about the discipline of money management, right? Well, that's the same thing with you real estate professionals out there. You're blowing off the morning. Guess what else you're blowing off? In other words, you have to get this. Please, people, listen to me, because I really want to help you change your life, but you've got to make a decision within yourself, is that this morning and the discipline of the morning and the discipline of everything you do translates, whether you realize it or not, whether you're disciplined or not, to the rest of the day. To the way you handle your prospects, to the way you handle that phone call, to the way you handle your relationships with people, to whether you feel worthy to lead or not lead. Some of you guys are stuck in transactions that are nightmares. I never have any nightmare transactions. Never. And I do 85,000 times the business that you do. Why? It was because we have the morning routine tied up and locked up, so therefore nothing is an issue and nobody can lead me that I don't want to be led by. Would you agree with all of that?
The Ty Leon Guerrero said in his podcast, the way you do anything is the way that you do everything.
Yeah.
And so if you're pushing things to the side, if you're procrastinating on certain things, you're probably also procrastinating a little bit on your prospecting. You know, you're probably also procrastinating a little bit on your lead follow-up. It's probably leaking into as well your ability to close and your ability to confront.
Right.
It's probably, leaking into your ability to build a database.
Right.
It's probably leaking in
your ability to track your numbers.
Your ability to track your numbers, and it just continues to go and go and go.
Yeah.
So,
So, answer me this. If people are not having a strong morning routine, then let's get into something that we didn't even think we were going to talk about, but then they're definitely not going to practice or role play every single day.
Well, that's the kicker, is not every single day.
Yeah.
And so what'll happen is that, man, everything is momentum based.
It is, yeah.
Think about think about when you're on a diet. Mm-hmm. You're going strong on that diet, and then what happens? You eat a bad meal.
Yep.
And then guess what happens? You eat another bad meal.
It's a little bit tougher. Yeah, absolutely.
And then you eat another bad meal. Next thing you know, you're 5 months into it, and Warren Buffett said it, the chains of habit are too heavy to be broke until they are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broke. Mm. So it's one of those things where, and that's why it's a non-negotiable, my morning routine. I will not break it, or I will not get off of it, because I understand that the minute I break it, I have old habits.
And they'll come back.
And so here's another thing.
It's like a drug addict.
It is. We've been operating. You have to think of it this way. Here's another big point, and here's something that let's say you're going to go out and you're going to start your morning routine, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. People underestimate the amount of time it takes to change a habit. You'll hear it all the time. 21 days to change a habit. Bull. Bull.
Yeah.
It's not right. It's completely not correct. Honestly, in order to build a habit that is just engraved in you and that does not go away, you're looking at, honestly, 5 years.
Yeah.
2 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And I say this because of this. I've been 430 crew. For those that you guys that follow me or that are also join me in the hashtag 430 crew, I've been doing that for 1.5 years, 2 years now.
And you still are.
And it was still a challenge for me to start waking up.
Yeah.
To wake up at times. which means that it's still not that engraved in me. And so I see it all the time. Understand how long it takes to truly change a habit. And yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Anthony, is there anything else? We've got a couple of questions. By the way, if you guys don't know, I need to do a better job at this, but right before we start to film the podcast, I post on my Instagram account and on my Facebook page, hey, guess what? We're filming. Here is the guest for this week. What questions do you have? So if you're not following me on Instagram, go to Instagram.com, look up Danny Morel, and you'll find me there. And then my Facebook page, my personal is all locked up, but my Facebook page is danny.morel.page. So facebook.com/danny.morel.page. So this way you could be ahead of the game and you could be seeing when we have guests and you can ask some questions. So we've got a couple of questions for you that I'm already seeing coming through.
Yeah.
But before we do that, is there anything else that you would like to add that maybe I didn't ask you that you'd like to share?
You know, I would say the biggest thing is make it a non-negotiable. If you're feeling some way, or you go to an event, or you go to a seminar, or you hear somebody speak, or let's say you hear me say something, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna. That's it. I'm committing to it.
Right.
Make it a non-negotiable. Make it a non-negotiable. And when you make it a non-negotiable, others in your life will start to see it as a non-negotiable, and they'll start to support you. They'll start to, and I'll give you a great example. The other day, it's so funny. My wife, I'm leaving. I wake up early. I wake up at my crazy time, and I'm getting ready to leave. And my son, and the first thing I do always, after I'm getting ready, I take my dog out. I let my dog out to go potty. And next thing I turn around and I hear my son running down the stairs, and I'm like, no, there's no way he would be awake at this time. There's no way. Literally, and then I open the door and I turn around, and there he is. He's sitting at Jasic. He's like, Dada, I'm cold. So I'm like, oh my gosh, no. And like naturally I get into like protect mode.
Well,
like,
maybe I should stay.
Yeah, oh my gosh, there's okay, this is right. And so like I go and I put the blanket around him, and like it was so awesome to see that when you really commit to something, others will understand the importance of it. My wife is walking down the stairs and she grabs them for me.
Right.
And she says, go.
Yes.
Because she knows how important it is to me.
Yeah.
So, for those of you
versus, because we've heard this before, I gotta stay in bed because my wife. I'm sorry, guys. I love you guys, but listen to me. You're the leader of the family, right? And you've got to set the pace, and you've got to set this tone. So it drives me crazy. I posted this once on Instagram. I said, don't ever use your family as an excuse. Yeah. Versus, the opposite side when. You get guilt trips or whatever. You're getting guilt trips because people don't really know how serious you are. And it's because it's not a standard for you. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Your friends, your family, they will, they will come, they will support you more. If you show them that it's important.
That it's serious. Yeah.
Because at first, that they may hate a little bit.
Right.
They may say you're crazy,
right.
And I'm talking friends, whatever. But in time, as you continue to do it, they will then support you.
Oh,
crazy the way it works.
Claudia hates on me all the time when it comes to golf. So I told Claudia, because obviously I'm not that good at golf, but I told Claudia the other day, I said, we're going to go golf at Tiger Woods Golf Club. What's the name of it?
Shady Canyon.
Shady Canyon.
Shady Trails or Shady
Canyon. Trails, something like that. We were going to go golf. And I go, babe, guess what? I'm so excited. She goes, why? And I get excited about everything, obviously. So I'm going to go golf at Tiger Woods golf course. I'm so excited. This is what she said. Well, why are you going?
Well, the more and more you show her how
the more right.
Or it's like, okay, go practice.
Well, it's obvious. I'm not that serious about it, though.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying, guys? Versus things that she knows I'm serious about. She it's all good. Yeah. It's all good. We support each other, Absolutely. And it's a vice versa. I support her in the things that she's serious about. Yep. So, okay, fantastic, Anthony. I'm going to go here to Facebook. And on my Facebook page, I've got a question from Joe Perez. So Joe Perez writes, question.
Yes.
What keeps you going on the days that you don't feel like doing anything? What's your kick in the rear?
Well, I can tell you that on the days that I don't feel like doing anything, I can tell you out of 5 days a week, I virtually struggle and talk myself out of it probably 2 to 3 days a week.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
And that's why I shared earlier is that you really, that's a habit.
It's a habit.
That's a habit to talk
listen to that voice, right?
To listen to that voice.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say don't underestimate, the amount of time that it's going to take, because there's no doubt about it. You have habits, for some of us 10, 15, some of us are 40, 50, 60. It's not going to be easy.
It's not going to be easy.
You're not going to break those habits in 21 days. I'm sorry.
Right.
You're not going to break that habit in a year.
Right.
You have to really understand the amount of time that it's going to take. Another thing is accountability.
Yeah.
And when I say accountability, I say extreme accountability. I have accountability partners that I'm involved in groups, and like nobody will wake up or nobody will do anything. It doesn't matter. I still do it. My extreme accountability, and I'll give you guys a little secret. If you want extreme accountability, use social media. Mm-hmm. And so, like, for example, I have made it so known that I'm in the 430 crew. I have literally had people show up to the gym to verify that I'm there. I've literally, on days that I didn't check in, message me and say, "Hey, you weren't at the gym this morning." Right. And I'm like, "Yeah, I was. You didn't post it." And I'm like, "Oh, my bad. I just worked." But then I'm like, always, thank you so much for your accountability. Like, you don't understand how much that accountability means to me, because it's valuable. So get some extreme accountability. Extreme accountability. We'll do more to please others than we'll do to please ourselves.
Yep. Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. Yeah. I love it. Here's another question. Cuban product. By the way, Cuban product, I think this is your second question, and I don't know your name. So shoot me over your name or something, because Cuban product, let's see here.
Product, that's awesome.
Yeah, love the name. It says happy wife, happy life. So on Instagram, don't know who you are, but thank you for your questions and for following. It says, what's your motivation? What drives you? And how does your time and schedule play a part with your home life?
Yeah, my motivation is my family, and ultimately to provide the best possible life for them that I can with my God-given self.
Right.
And so that's why it drives everything. It drives everything. I'll tell you this, a big part of the reason why I started waking up a lot earlier and I started really tuning that in was because of the fact that I have two kids. Taylin, my 4-year-old daughter, and my son, who's 2 years old. And I realized that, we're in a business that it takes time. You have to put time into the business if you want to get massive results. And so I wanted to put myself in a position where I was working and I was doing the things that I needed to get done on a daily basis, at the same time still being able to have a life with them. So for example, it's Friday, it's 12:48. After this, I'm going to go play some golf because that's in my schedule. And then this weekend, it's dedicated to them.
Yeah.
Now you go back to Agent A and Agent B.
Right. They have no control over.
They have no control over their time.
Yeah.
They have no control over it. This weekend is not even the weekend. It's non-existent. They're showing buyers around all day. Right. And so nothing wrong with working with buyers, but they could have it in a way where they're showing buyers during the week.
Right.
In order to be able to, so it's all really based on your priorities. I think that's a great question.
Yeah.
Phenomenal question. Absolutely.
Instagram name Chatty Bwick says, if you could only pick 3 prospecting methods, which methods would they be?
3 prospecting methods?
Methods, yeah.
So I would say, phone prospecting. I would say for real estate professionals, door knocking.
Okay.
I'm not sure if this is what he's referring to or if he's referring to something else, but and then I would say for a third one, it's a good question, because I guess phone prospecting really breaks a lot of them down.
Yeah.
If you're talking real estate, 3 prospecting methods, I would say expireds, for sell by owners, just listed, just sold calls, and you got to start building feeders.
Okay.
You've got to build a center of influence.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to build a center of influence.
Yep. I love it. I love it. Okay, Amber N. Mata writes, for someone who is switching from a corporate career to real estate, what advice would you share? And also, what methods from a corporate structure would you recommend to still maintain in the real estate world? Can't wait for this episode. Thank you.
That is a great question.
Mm-hmm.
I would take that corporate background that you have and I would not change it, because the biggest problem in real estate, I feel, is time management. The biggest reason why time management is the biggest problem is because we are independent contractors.
And we have quote unquote freedom.
We have freedom. Take that same exact schedule and learn from that schedule and just rotate it. Rotate it into your real estate career. Different activities, but the same exact structure and the same exact schedule. If you're used to working 8 hours a day and you do
same thing.
Same thing. Different activities, but same structure.
Love it. It's kind of funny what Kobe said the day after he retired.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. He woke up the next day. He got up. He got early. He went to the gym. He said, because, he knows a lot of retired basketball players that end up getting overweight, out of their rhythm. And it's because the habits and the structures go away.
Yeah.
So good point. Good point. Okay. Instagram named Rero BMO writes, brand new agents, top 3 things to focus on immediately.
Top three things to focus on: morning routine.
Morning routine. Yeah.
Massive lead generation, massive lead follow-up.
Love it. Those were 3 powerful ones. And the last question from Dustin Cole out of San Diego. Biggest mistake you made, and what did you learn from it?
Biggest mistake that I made, and what did I learn from it? Not making adjustments. Not making adjustments. You go from year to year and you expect change, and the ego of coachability.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
See, you guys don't know this, but for a while, I was telling Anthony, get on camera, get in front of people. And Anthony is able to communicate the way that he is today. There was a time where he didn't want to talk to anybody because he's so driven that he wanted to lock himself in a room. He would literally, listen to this, he bought a dog leash.
Yeah.
And he put the leash to his belt and strapped it onto the wall, to the doorknob, and to make sure he wouldn't leave his office and wouldn't not prospect. Okay, so if you can imagine that intensity, and finally I started to say, Anthony, you've got some gifts and talents here, man, that could serve to help other people, and then in return, man, you're going to be great. And it took me a while to do that. You were a little uncoachable when it came to that topic.
It's ego.
When
you remove the ego,
right,
there's no limit to how far you can go.
Okay, then I started telling him, make a video. The same way I tell all of our leaders, and the same way I tell all of our agents, it's get out there. People need to know and hear what you do. But what does the ego do? The ego tries to keep you safe. So you had a little bit of a hard time with that one. And it was, for such a powerful person, you'd be amazed to hear the conversations we would have. Anthony would say, what do you think? What do you think? Should I post it? He was always checking for validation.
Yeah.
Which we all do. And I would say, it doesn't matter what I think. Just throw it out there. You're going to mess up, guys. You're going to fumble around. But the point is that you'll get better the more that you do it.
Absolutely.
So I don't even know why I brought that up, but
it answers I think it was Dustin's question phenomenally, is get coachable. We put ourselves in positions where we hear coaching,
right,
but we don't listen to it and we don't take action on it.
Yeah.
Because our ego is telling us, no, I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah.
And how's your way working?
Absolutely. Get the 3 cards, guys. Fill them out. You learned a lot on this episode. You learned, you know what? I think you did more than learned. I think you were challenged in this episode. I really think you do. And I know that there's a lot of you listeners. And for some reason, I'm going to bring this up. There's a lot of moms out there that have been, hitting us up on the episode and messaging us for some help. I want you to toughen up a little bit more, okay? Because the situation that you're in requires you to be a little bit tougher. And it requires you to be a little bit tougher because of the direction you want to go into for you and for your children. And make no mistake about it, that's the responsibility that you now have. And so what you heard in today's episode is the exact things that you need to get tougher at. And I know it's going to be difficult, and I know it'll be hard, and I know it'll be tough to create these new habits. But you listen today, and this is for all of our listeners now, you listen today to an example of what's possible. This young man, in the 4 years that he's been in this industry, I'll tell you right now, is light years ahead of people in the industry 25 years. It ain't even close. It ain't even funny. It ain't even fair to compare the two. And the reason why is because he's mastered the mental game. That's why. So you can only imagine where he will be 10 years from now. Anthony Morel. Yes.
Yeah. Last thoughts or
go for it. Last thoughts.
So another thing that I want to share with you guys is, especially when you're first getting it started, I started challenging myself. I would do this a hashtag game, okay, where I would all I would try and do was just go 5 for 5 for the week.
Right.
5 for 5 for the week, meaning Monday through Friday. So I initially started that challenge of I want to get to the gym by 4:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday, because I know what it'll be able to do. It'll basically, carry me in the momentum. It'll help me build the momentum that I need.
Right.
So for all of you that are just starting with maybe waking up at a predetermined time or getting a workout in, whatever it may be, start small. Don't focus on 2 years. Don't focus on 5 years. Don't worry, that will come and you will make adjustments as you go.
Yes.
My new challenge now is, and I just started this 3 weeks ago, is 5 for 5, 4 o'clock workout, and 5 for 5, 7 a.m. arrival. Because before 7 a.m. So that's my new challenge now. And that's all that I focus on. I'm not focusing on, oh my gosh, but what about if I mess up during Thanksgiving? Because, oh my gosh, that would be terrible and I'll break them. No, it's just this week, how many days am I working? Okay, I'm working 5. Great. I can go 5 for 5. Get there. So what happens is this. Now I'm just doing little wins. Little wins. And so I wake up, I get to the gym. Yes, I'm like, good job, Anthony. Right. Great job. Like you did it. You did it this week, right? Get to the office by 7 o'clock or pre 7 o'clock. There it is right there. So I'm just adding these wins and these victories in my mind. What's going on is my confidence goes up, right? And everything just it's huge. It's huge. So don't look at, oh my gosh, I gotta lose X amount of weight, or oh my gosh, I gotta do X amount of deals. No. What do I gotta focus on this week? What can I do right now? What can I control right now? Did I do it? Yes, I did it. Great job. Next day. Great job. Next. And before you know it, man, I think I've been doing the morning routine now for about 1.5 years, 2 years almost. And it's just been phenomenal, life-changing. So,
guys, that is a wrap. Episode 33 of the Real Estate Sales Show. Thank you so much. Anthony, if they want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you, follow you, all that good stuff?
Yeah, Facebook, Anthony Morel, and then on Instagram, Anthony Morel 1. You can follow me. If you the new Instagram with the feed, I'm always checking in there, so you can see what I'm doing on a daily basis and communicate, interact with me. Also, I welcome accountability through doing the 430 crew for the last 1.5 years. I probably right now am in communication with about 30 people that honestly, they're just out there.
Yeah.
So they're really, really cool. And they check in with me every day. So yeah, I'm here for you guys. I'm accountable. And if you need some accountability because you don't have as much, in your life, whatever, you can reach out to me and I just want to contribute and help. So
I love it. That's a wrap, my friends. Episode 33. I think this was one of the best ones ever. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you take action on it. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.